At first glance, Private First Class Blake Hill seems like your normal everyday soldier. He works hard at his job as a cannon crewman and even fast-tracked obtaining the gunner's position. He's also the model soldier when it comes to physical fitness.
Okay, we're good.
And good he has been, because with every rep, he becomes more and more the person he didn't always know that he wanted to be. Anyone who knows Private Hill will tell you he spends most of his free time in the gym, and the reason started with a snowstorm that changed his life.
Typical Colorado winter night. It was actually the first day of winter break, and driving home from a friend's house. My mom wanted me home early, and the snowstorm was bad. It was really bad, and I was in my big Ford. Didn't really care. I was like, I got 4x4. I was like, nothing's gonna stop me. I'm invincible. I'm 16 years old. I decided to put my seatbelt on, and right a couple seconds after I put my seatbelt on, got cut off. I swerved, I fishtailed, and went straight into a ditch and rolled. And real lucky. I should have been dead if I didn't have my seatbelt on.
Without a scratch, he walked away a changed man. But the change didn't stop there. Private Hill has been fighting an uphill battle for most of his life, and now he's half the man he used to be. Because few know today that not long before he joined the Army, he weighed close to 300 pounds.
I can't believe I actually let myself go like that. Like, I didn't try to change my life sooner. When I look back at it and saw how big I used to be, I can't believe it.
The car accident helped push him to lose weight, and in 10 months he lost 120 pounds and gained some much-needed confidence.
I love being me. I loved being me back then too, but being able to look at myself in the mirror and think, you can do it. Being have that positive attitude, knowing that you can do it, you set your mind to. Just a great feeling. It's a lot better than how it used to be.
Over those 10 months, he struggled to learn the healthy way to lose weight, and now he wants to pass that knowledge along.
I love just helping people. That's what I've always wanted to do. When I lost my weight and I saw that people were coming to me and they were asking me questions about losing weight, I was like, boom, I like this. I like being able to help people and tell people what to do to help themselves.
Private Hill wants to one day open his own gym, and maybe then he can change someone else's life who knows what it's like to go through the same struggles that he did back then. Army Sergeant Travis Delzell, 16th MPAD, Fort Bliss, Texas. Ever since Staff Sergeant Bernard Springle was a young boy, he's had a passion for swimming.
Well, when I got started swimming, I never really had a particular interest, so to speak, in joining a swim team. I was kind of drafted onto a swim team when I was 6 years old. Basically, I was standing on the diving board, just kind of yelled to my mom. It's like, hey, Mom, look at me. I'm going to jump off the diving board and swim to the other end of the pool. And I didn't know it, but the head coach of the swim team was kind of standing right there and heard me say this and just kind of walked alongside the side of the pool while I was swimming all the way down. And then next thing I know, when I finished, he came up to my mom and basically said, hey, I want your son for the swim team. Do you mind signing him up? It was pretty exciting to be asked to be on the swim team.
After years of swimming competitively, his passion turned into a drive to be the best.
The competition is a huge thing for me. I mean, I'm extremely competitive. Just being able to come to a meet and compete. Whether I do well or not, it's just the fact of being able to compete. It's just a thrill for me, because if I don't do well, then that just tells me I got to train harder. Train harder to become the best.
And as he strives to be the best, he remembers why he's always loved to swim.
In the end, swimming is probably one of the most relaxing things that there is for me. I can just be alone, I can think to myself and just think about everything that's going on, and just it's almost zen-like.
Army Sergeant Travis Delzell, 16th MPAD, Fort Bliss, Texas. I'm here at the Simulation Center on Fort Bliss, where today we're going to show you the Humvee Egress Assistance Trainer. Before soldiers deploy, they go through different types of vehicle rollover training to make sure that they understand what to do if they are hit by a roadside bomb.
The purpose of the heat trainer is to get soldiers good and familiarized with being inside of a vehicle that if it rolls over, the actions that you have to take in case of a rollover. So pretty much that's the purpose of the heat trainer. Team Chief, make sure everyone's seatbelt is fastened.
Good to go.
Make sure you and your team sound off with rollover, rollover, rollover. Once we reach the critical rollover points.
Roger. Roll over, roll over, roll over.
When the vehicle rolls, it gives soldiers the feeling of being disoriented, shows them what happens to everything that isn't strapped down inside the vehicle, and in the end, leaves them hanging upside down by their seatbelts.
Egress, egress, egress.
The device shows soldiers the importance of wearing seatbelts, allows them to see how hard it is to get out of a vehicle that is upside down, and teaches them what they need to do when they finally get out of the vehicle. Reporting from Fort Bliss, I'm Army Sergeant Travis Delzell. Roll over, roll over, roll over! For thousands of years, man has looked to the stars, seeking to one day be among them. After centuries of advancements, we made that dream a reality when we put the first man in space and onto the moon. Since then, we've landed rovers on Mars, built the International Space Station, and sent spacecrafts to the very edge of our solar system. Now, we look to make history once again by putting man on another planet. Although traveling to Mars and colonizing the Red Planet might seem like science fiction, for one soldier, it's slowly becoming a reality.
I signed up for the Mars One program because I've always been interested in going into space. Part of the reason for me joining the Army was it was an avenue to applying for the astronaut program for NASA.
In 2013, over 200,000 people worldwide applied for the program. After round one of the selection process, those numbers were cut down to just a little over 600.
If I make the next round of cuts, which will reduce the candidates from 600 down to 100, I'll begin the more in-depth evaluation, which will test us physically and psychologically to find out how many of us will make it to the final 24 who will begin the 10 years of training that will prepare us for surviving on Mars.
While the candidates train, Mars One will be making the preparations to send a rover which will scout for a location to set up the colony. Once the location is determined, the rover will set up a habitat for the first team that arrives in 2025, a team that may include the first American soldier on Mars. Army Sergeant Travis Delzell, 16th MPAD, Fort Bliss, Texas. One day a month, kids of all ages get the opportunity to test themselves on Tango Tower at Fort Bliss. I got the chance to talk with one little girl who wasn't going to let her fear of heights keep her from at least trying.
The rock wall was kind of scary because it was really high for me because I have never had to climb so high.
The 50-foot, six-sided structure allows 12 climbers at a time and gives these young thrill-seekers memories they won't soon forget.
There was a lot of things that were fun because I got to feel what it was like trying to climb up really high like my dad does.
Even though she never did make it to the top, she came down with a little more confidence.
The first time I tried, I was a little bit scared But I think now that I tried it once, I'll be better this time.
Sergeant Travis Delzell,
Had very, very, very
16th MPAD
fun times on it.
for Bliss, Texas.
You want to come down? Okay.
High five, dude. That was awesome.
Bye.